Hello and welcome. My name is Greatman Ayilara, and I'm very excited to be on your screen again this very moment where we will be together examining the topic before us titled Religion and this Bloodthirsty God. Religion and this Bloodthirsty God. Now, it will sound as if one is trying to reach out Almighty, the Almighty in quote, and also as if you have a personal grievance to settle with God. But then I want us to think of it this way. If a thing is actually life and a determinant to several other lives, it is appropriate and very much in order if we take our time to look at the etymology and the foundation of such a thing. This is the reason why I strongly believe that being a seeker is going to earn you what I call restoration of the time that the cankerworm and the locust of lies, century age long lies, have eaten from you. And unfortunately, the very thing we all use to launder a discrepancy, to launder discrimination in our world, to excuse ourselves from responsibility, and also ensure that other people are to us a slave is no other thing but this God. This God. Today, we would try as much as we can to be fair on this God. We are going to be very fair on this God. If you're online, it's very okay for you to share. Call your friends and all. Now, either you are a Muslim or a Christian, you realize that what you call the Almighty, this very God which you serve, have his potency and power in threat. Threat. Yoruba people will say, inú ẹ̀gún ni màrìwò tí ń gbé ń ṣẹ̀ṣọ́, inú ìdíkòkò lọmọ adigunjalè tí ń fẹ́lá. Now, the entity called God cannot catch your attention or be potent to you except the instrument of threat is used. Because to you, you have not seen God. You didn't know where you came from, except you do. You found yourself on this planet, and so you learned what they were doing here. And as an agent of continuity, you also took it upon yourself to continue the culture that is prevalent in the tribe, in the nation, in the continent, country, or the very family you were born. So, geographical location shaped almost all the things that you think you know today. Geographical location. You will not know anything other than Allah if you were born in Saudi Arabia. Now, religion is a cultural belief. That is what they practice there. You would have no choice than to follow suit and practice it with them. You were born into North Korea today. Juche will probably be your Bible, and atheism will probably be your religious belief. So we find ourselves in location. So we were taught the culture of that particular location, and we began to help them propagate the gospel of continuity. Before you got to that location, where were you? Who were you? What was in your existence? Do you even know where you came from? How are you sure that what you met here in the culture you find yourself here is the truth and is the right thing to do? For once, let us imagine there is a God somewhere in one heaven who created you. Now, when you got into this planet, you got here as an atheist. Now, your default setting is an atheist setting, which means anti-text, anti-theist. Theist means believing in the concept of God. Anti means not believing in the concept of God, which they call atheist, anti-theist. Now, you do not know there was a God in existence when you got here. I'm trying to prove something to you. You do not have understanding of who God is. If there's hell, if there's heaven, you probably do not even know that people die. Note that I started from the angle of saying that everything you know today is learned. Now, God became your learned behavior. Satan became your learned behavior. Hell, heaven, judgment day, fire, all of these things became something you learned. So everything you think is true today that holds the cross of your religious belief today and understanding, you learned them from a fellow human being like yours, who probably thought in his own mind that this is the right way to go. What if for a moment that is not the right way to go? Why should your life be anchored by the concept and the ideology of another man who also got here to learn and inherit what he met here? How do you now build your life around the ideology of one man like yourself, a man with flesh and blood, who felt that there must be one higher God in one heaven who governs the affairs of the earth? And then you became a slave to this God. So I tell you that your religion is also part of the learned behavior and learning pattern. You learned it. And if you learned it, you can unlearn it. Because everything that was curated, everything that was formed around a doctrine always have human reflection in itself. Why? Because it was human being that created doctrine. So in case you have come across a quote that man created God in his own image, this is the explanation of how man created God in his own image. Thinking that there is something I must have faith in. Man believed that he is not sufficient enough, he is not adequate enough, he is not enough to just exist. That is the difference between mankind and animals. Animals are able to live to the fullest of their potential, become the king of the jungle, become the parrot of the sea, become the flight of the air, because they simply assume that they are enough to be an existence. So the eagle was not praising God or praying to God. The eagle was not looking up to Jesus, the author and finisher of its faith. The eagle took responsibility that if I must survive on the air, I must learn how to master the storm. And so it became the king of the air when it comes to flight. The lion did not assume the king of the jungle just by saying, I want to have a God above me. Lion does not believe in the concept of a higher self. It only believes in itself as the highest form of reality. And so with that confidence, it moves mountain. It is only human being that lives with this sense of inadequacy, inefficiency, always looking for something and someone to take responsibility for their own negligence. And so, because of that, we created a God for ourselves, whom we can either blame or give credit to. It was Olupitan Olufunke Yashizie that said that when you get something right, you would always think that it is the grace of God. Give yourself some credit, you got it right. Whenever a man gets the principle that governs something and got the result, he's always thinking that I am not enough to do something spectacular in life. So mankind always look for something to give credit to or to put blame on. We're talking about religion and this bloodthirsty God. I'm still dealing with religion aspect of it. So when I ask you, what is love? You tell me God is love. Does that mean you are not loving enough? Is it like you as a human being are not capable of love? Perfect love that casts away all fears. But because you don't want to take responsibility of showing love, you know that love, true meaning of love, is responsibility and sacrifice to your fellow mankind. You do not want to take that responsibility, so you put it on God and say, God is love. Only God can do this. You can do it. So when I ask you that, what is peace of mind? You say, when we get to heaven, we will find peace. It will be a place without sorrow, without tears. That God will wipe away all tears from the eyes of men. Does that mean that human beings are not capable of creating heaven here on earth? We simply need to stop fighting the war. We simply need to stop investing in nuclear head weapon of mass destruction and start investing in weapon of mass inclusion. When the white man sees black men as human first before calling them black, when the Asians do not see other people as someone they can put their nonsense on, we take God out of the equation, we bring heaven on earth, and nobody's looking for what to enjoy when they die. They want to live their fullest here. Look at you right now. You are so heavenly conscious and earthly useless. Oh, gbádùn ayé, oh, lè gbádùn ọ̀run. Imagine that your concept of afterlife is continuity and reward for what you have done here. What do you deserve when you get to afterlife? What do you deserve with the way you are living now? I welcome everybody again. You can do well to share, invite friends. Let's learn. This is nation building. This is spurging or spurring ourselves to responsibility. This is how we can grow the continent of Africa. This is how a black child can know that he is also God. So they brought the concept of God to you and they also monopolize it. They monopolize it. That white men are gods, black men are slaves. They did it in such a way that when you suffer and you labor, you take your child to a school and they took away your own African history from the curriculum. They put the Jewish history and the Arab history called IRK and CRK and make your children feel like everything godly had to come from abroad. That everything godly had to come from abroad. But it should not be so. If Africans were writing their own history down, we will know that some of our men also have gotten to that level where we refer to them as God. Shango became God in his lifetime. Oya became God. Leave them alone. Leave those ones alone. I don't bow to any God, either small or big. No, I'm a tyrant against anything that is called God. If it is not human, forget about it. In our lifetime, we had a woman called Fumilayo Ransom Kuti here. She stood up amongst the women to become someone that we can never forget. When we teach our children the history that black men, black women also got to a point where they became unquestionable and almost omnipotent, and they make it happen for themselves, our children will know that the concept of godship is not a monopoly of the white folks. If they know how to create God, we can create our own God too. Are you with me? But the concept of having a God, it's like an existing river. You just have to flow with it. You flow with the current. You don't know if there's God. You were born an atheist. It will be better if you die as one. Because let me ask you a simple question now. Since you have believed in God, that all your life is about God, is your life even beneficial to anybody? The day they put God in your equation, can you see how you lost your joy? I'm going to take you back into hypnosis stage now, from age 0 to age like 7 or 9. Can you see how happy you are? Remember how happy you are. Age 0 to 11, or let's say even 12, when you had no concept of God. Even when you had the concept that there is God in heaven, you know that this God is not something so important. You were filled with joy. Your life was so full of joy. You had no worries. You weren't going to bed thinking that the demons from your father's house are coming against you. Were you bothered about that? Were you? You were not. Or you just want to make your parents happy, eat, sleep, wake up, move on. That was all your life was. That's being human. But the moment you begin to now pledge allegiance to this God, look at your life. See the way your life has gone. Complex. The money you have used to feed this God alone can build house for some of you here. A God that you have to finance. Is that one a God? A God that needs your money to move on. They even say when you pay tithe and you pay offering, you are building mansion for yourself in heaven. A God that needs your own money to build mansions in heaven, is that one even Jehovah Jireh, the one that is all provident? Is that a God? A God that demands 10% of your money, even when you do not have. A God that makes you feel guilty when you do some things that normal people do. A God that makes you feel like you are burning in hell when you don't go to church on Sunday, or you don't pray 5 times a day. Muslim people, listen to me. When you don't pray 5 times a day, you think that you owe God. So they tell you that to make it up for God. That kind of a God, is that one a God? Black men, black women, can you wake up? You are sleeping. You are sleeping. That's why they can kill you anyhow, both at home and abroad, because you are sleeping. So religion, either you are a Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, whatever it may be, is a learned behavior. And that's what we are trying to unlearn. We were talking today on our Seekers group on Facebook, and I said, a God that was dragging Tower of Babel with Nimrod, the God was dragging Tower of Babel with Nimrod, just because that one said, we want to build a skyscraper that will get to heaven, but could not stop them from leaving the earth today to moon. Is that one a God? Is that a God? The Tower of Babel, the first skyscraper that the Christian folks believed that Nimrod was creating, have we not built more than that in our days? That God that could not stop Dubai from building the tallest of everything, biggest of everything, mightiest of everything, is that even a God? Or is he just against civilization? Is this God just against development? Is he against technological advancement? A God that will be happy today and be sad tomorrow. I'll be happy today and be sad tomorrow. See, I'm not telling you under come what way to reason like me or deny or denounce your God. But I'm saying, look at what he is doing to you. The concept of God in your life has turned you into an animal that can be slaughtered at will. And some people are gaining. They are profiting greatly from your gullibility in believing that there is a God who controls the affairs of men. Some people, that is their own enterprise. We come live Tuesdays, 8 p.m., Thursdays, 8 p.m., Sundays, 8 p.m. I believe that's the time many people would have gotten home and settled. For this God to be potent in you, remember I told you that it needs threat. Ọba òkè yìí lágbára tó bí ọba tí ìdíkòkò mọ́. He is not as powerful as you think he is until threat is introduced into the equation. Imagine a God that need to threaten you into obedience. It is a law and a command that this God, the version of that God called Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it means God the most merciful, the most gracious and all that, gave to Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his household, that all people on planet Earth who do not bow to worship Allah are infidel. How do you say you are God and you are responsible for creating these people, and then you now say those ones that doesn't bow to you are infidel just because you think they should have a free will? You keep playing their life as a casino game. So God, who is omnipotent, which means all powerful, this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will look at his high korokoro, distribute some people to North Korea, put some people in America, knowing fully well that religion is a cultural continuation. He should have known that if you put someone in America, possibility of them becoming a Christian is high. So you now say it is the job of one mortal man to come and be converting other people. If you are God and you are powerful, why don't you do the dirty job yourself? Why use men to kill men just because you want to take glory? I must have told you several times the procedure of fighting jihad and the two types of jihad we have. One day I will be taking you through the laws that governs the mujahid, the mujahideen, those who fight jihad, the free beast that is there. The only thing you know about these people is the 72 virgins. You do not know about the right they have to rape young boys, to rape young women, even old women. You do not know all those rights. Because my own alpha, when I was a Muslim, was training me up to be a mujahid. A mujahid. Imagine me with my intelligence becoming a mujahid. Maybe I will be in the indoctrination session and I will be producing non-entities to go and kill themselves because of free beasts that I cannot give them on earth. Are you with me? This God in his omnipotency state could not afford to say everybody should be Muslim. Once you want people to be Muslim is what you want on earth. Just turn everybody to Muslim. Maybe they say you are a leti baroye olumoran, the one that knows the art of man. Why don't you just change the art? Is your scripture not? Have you not read your scripture that the art of it is the hand of the Lord? He turned it to wherever he wants. Why did he not turn the? Why can't he just turn the art of man instead of making men undergo this suicide and this murderer kind of endeavors as a Muslim? He's God. Now, you are a Christian. Quickly, like a thunder lightning, go to Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. From Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, let's begin to now see how bloodthirsty this God is. Because it's like when there's no blood, this God is not potent. It's like when there is no God, when there is no blood, God is not bloodsucker. You will go to church. You with your black hats will go to church and be praying against blood-sucking demon. You, Iwosha, all losile ìjọsìn lọ lè mọ gbàdúrà. You'll be praying against blood-sucking demon, but the God you are serving love blood. He's a bloody God. He loves to kill. If he has not seen blood, his temperament is not good. So as a Christian, Adam and Eve, they said something happened. They messed up. We have spoken about how the whole thing was nonsense. How do you call yourself omniscient God? And you don't know that Satan will enter a garden. An outcast will enter a garden. Are you getting my point? Oh no, we need to wise up. You are not telling me the story of how snake speaking to a woman. But if I tell you how tortoise was speaking with dog, you refuse my own claim. Are they not both folklore? Why don't I create a religion on the Taste by Moonlight story of tortoise and dog? Why do you create religion over snake is speaking to a woman? Must it be women? Every failure in the Bible must be women. Women all the time. But that's not for today. Zubi and I will be taking up that Sunday. So when this God got angry, in order to pacify himself, the very first thing he created, he killed, was an animal. He need blood. Ibẹ̀ we're going to gbọ́n pé ó dàbí mújẹmújẹ lẹ́ni yìí o. Genesis to Revelation. Blood, 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 blood everywhere. What happened? Blood everywhere. How do you train up an African child? A normal human being with a book filled with blood, either Korean Bible, and that child will not be a nuisance. the enmity. And then to pacify himself, he went to do what? He killed a lamb and covered them with it. Blood happened there. Blood. So how do you train up a child with Bible or Quran filled with blood and think that that child will not be almost a cannibal? We have another case where God permitted bloodshed here. So theology, this is God giving people allowance to make choice. That God is giving them allowance, a mind of their own. If he's omnipowerful and can do all things, why did he allow Cain, the bad one, to kill Abel, the good one? Must things get to the point of bloodshed before God will now just pop up somewhere? So God allowed this murder to happen and pop up somewhere and be asking again foolish question, where is your brother? But you know all things. Why are you asking where his brother is? You should be one accountable for the whole world. But you are still asking a mortal man you claim you created where someone is. And then you now say the blood is crying out. The thing looks stupid to me. But why allow that bloodshed? So that is a way for you to know that Christianity allow the innocent to die for nothing. That is where you will know that there's partiality in this God. Allowing the innocent to die before now coming up and say, I will avenge you. Don't let anybody use you for sacrifice. Oh, don't let anybody. That's why I always tell African people, Boko Haram is coming to kill you. It's telling you to denounce. You are saying you are for Christ. You shall walk. You are for Christ. You cannot deny your Lord and Savior. You will die for your Jesus. And that your Jesus allowed you to die. They behead you, they maim you. It did not rise up again or come back all of a sudden to save you. Because there's no concept like that. Religion is what gave Boko Haram the conscience to kill the Christians. Religion is what gave Christians the conscience to be stupid enough to say, I'm standing by my faith. Religion just murder all of you. Murder all of you. So Cain and Abel, he allowed that bloodshed. Maybe he needed to see blood. Between killing the lamb for their parents and they enjoying their lives. And the partiality he showed there is what happened that made Cain become infuriated to the point of killing brother. Somebody is saying God behaved like a typical human being in the story of Cain and Abel. Yoruba will say Amarabini Oyo, which means you know the matter. Why are you asking me foolish question? He knows how to ask this jump question. Very jump question kind of person. The temperament of this God looks like that of men. For those who are Christians or Muslims here, we are not trying to say do not believe. We are only trying to say that can we reason together? The scripture says, come, let us reason together. We are trying to reason together. Now we have the deluge of Noah. Theologically, we call that flood of Noah deluge. The deluge of Noah happened because God wants everybody to bow to him. Of immorality in the world. And so in order to now cleanse the planet Earth and start over again, there ought to be a deluge. So the deluge of Noah happened there. Killing even innocent child. Let's imagine for once that this deluge happened. The current geographical location of Noah is what he will be thinking the planet Earth is. Meanwhile, there could be maybe a hurricane or some kind of flood or too much rain, and he said, is God angry with the earth? So God needed to wipe out all the human beings, killing people, shedding their blood, just to prove to himself that It should be worship. That it needs the worship. And it needs to be worshipped. Imagine the blood. But some people don't mind. They don't mind. These are truths that are hidden in plain sight before you. We have the sacrifice of Isaac. They call it the test of faith. They call it the test of faith. So the Pentecostal, the Penterasta will say, do not give unto God what does not cost you anything. If God needs money, you should go and take loan. I'm not sorry to say. If God needs money to do anything whatsoever, either to refurbish the interior decoration of heaven or whatever, he should go and take loan. I don't give my money to, I give my money to human being. Human being needs my money, not God. So the sacrifice of Isaac was a direct demand from this God and say, go and kill your son. What kind of a God is that? Go and kill your son. And you serve that kind of a God. Kill your son. You can imagine. What religion has done to people. Another one is the circumcision of men. They call it covenant and test of obedience. Still looking for blood. Circumcision of men. Said, as for me, Abraham, this is my home. As for you, go and be cutting your the spilling of blood. And I wish you know the significance of that. A vital organ of reproduction is being cut, and the blood from that is spilled for a god. It means that you reproduce for that particular god, which I know is an idol. You are reproducing on behalf. You are dedicating every child that comes out of you to that particular god, because you have dedicated your reproductive organ through the blood it needs to this god. Somebody say he was testing Adam to do evil. You can imagine all those nasty stuff. The second, the request for blood. The request for blood. This event that happened in where it was written that that this God went to Sodom and Gomorrah because he felt they are homosexual and wicked. He wiped them all out. Either it's true or not. Because he's looking for lifestyle adjustment. Remember when he sent Jonah to Nineveh too? He told him to go and warn them that he want to kill them more. And still threaten people. Is it by force? Now let's say for once you gave them the willpower to choose what they want to do with their lives. When you know they are going to have a willpower to choose, why do you want to threaten them again if they decided to choose something different from you? So he went to Sodom and Gomorrah and finished them off. Finished them off there. Then there's something I now discover. Something that happened between some of the escapee of that particular town, Lot and his daughters. Lot and his daughters. You remember that they drugged their father and slept with their father. Something very worse. That was an incest. That's one of the things that they do in Sodom and Gomorrah. Don't forget, right? Why did he not kill them? Are they special? Oh, I forgot they are Jews. So Jews, if Jews do something wrong, they don't deserve death. If other people do something, they should be killed. If other people do something wrong, they should be killed. If Jews do it, they should be spared. So when Job and his daughter, when Lot and his daughter had the fun, there's happened between them. Suddenly God went deaf and dumb. That's partiality, right? That's what you went to kill people for in Sodom and Gomorrah. We're just taking a look at how thirsty this God is for blood. Let's look at the what happened, what was recorded that happened in Egypt. The firstborn sons of Pharaoh and the Egyptians. For once, it was Pharaoh that was messing up. Why kill the firstborn sons of the Egyptians also? Just one point. Because you even messed up. This God messed up by saying that he's the one that intentionally made the heart of Pharaoh hard so that he can destroy him. You can imagine that God that is so partial, you made the heart of a man strong and hard because you want to destroy him. That's the God you serve. That's the God you serve. That's the God you serve. And I think it is Ikatoba Sheloba Mage, the one who is an offender is one that should face persecution. Why kill the firstborn sons of the other Egyptians also? Are they the Pharaoh? You just want to prove your point. There's a man called Jephthah and his daughter. Jephthah, you know Jephthah? You know Jephthah? The one that would war from singing. Yeah, that one. So he gave up in a nutshell. He made a vow. He said, if he comes back from the war front in one beat, the first thing that comes out to him, he will sacrifice. Maybe he has learned from his God. He was thinking he's going to be a servant that will come. But unfortunately for him, his only daughter came out. And this God could not even say, yeah, stop. But what kind of a God even accept that kind of covenant? Human sacrifice. They say God is fair. They say God is fair. Human sacrifice is permitted if it is so pleasing. And that girl died for nothing. The girl died for nothing. A God looking for blood at all cost. Somebody is saying one thing I never understand up until now is that is he not the one that created the Egyptians? I wonder. Help me ask who. This is the same God who said he created man in his own image after his own likeness. I think Egyptians should also be. But because Egyptians, the real Egyptians are black people, it doesn't matter, he can kill them. The life of a black man does not matter to this God. If you are from Africa, you should die. If you are from Jewish nation, you should leave. Because those are the chosen one. Those are the creator of that God. So how do I feed a dog that is biting me? How will I create a God that I cannot control? So because they are the one who created that God, they can control him. So Jephthah and his daughter, the child died for nothing. All in the bid to serve this God, to make this God happy. A God that has no conscience, accepting human sacrifice. Have you seen this? The genocide of the Amalekites. I want to ask you a question. What do you think is the offense of the Amalekites? Because the Jews wanted to pass through their nation when they were coming out of Egypt and they refused. Because you guys are greedy. Whatever nation you pass through, you mess it up. So when they were balanced, this God told Samuel to tell Saul to go and kill everyone in Amalek. He said even a suckling child should be killed. Ìyẹn ló bà mí nínú jẹ́ jù. Tribal supremacy. What makes Jews the one who have the right over land that they met here to? So you are there blaming Omonile and they are hooligans. The Bible you carry, you go to church with, filled up with so many atrocity of Omonile, land grabbing. Because they want to grab people's land, and those ones will not accept. It was okay for God to tell them, go and clean them up. Said even the animals. He said even the stranger that is passing the night in their country, in their city for that day, should be killed. Kodara, Kodaratoyi, Kodarato. This is the God you're serving. This is the God you're serving. What would a suckling child have done? What would an armless woman do that warrants this God to have said here? And let us not forget this particular man of ours in the days of David, Uzzah, when they wanted to touch the ark. If the ark wanted to fall, the guy just said, let me not allow it to fall. And this God is too temperamental. He behaves like a woman that is on her menstruation. What kind of a God? And you people read that part and you just brush it aside. I don't want to dwell on those things. I don't want to give you the exegesis behind those things. You will cry when I begin to open. Even on the surface, the wise one would have gotten the message. What is so special about the ark? Is it not the same ark that the Babylonians they came to capture at the end of the day? What happened to them? The Philistines even took the ark. So someone is trying to just help to support it. You killed the man. And no one, everybody was, your pastors will now hold a revival meeting on that one. Now, use one to elaborate and scare you the most and threaten you. You can imagine. Lord, they told you as an African person and you just took it hook, line, and sinker. This is the kind of things you rejoice over. So when you begin to hold microphone and you begin to talk this kind of nonsense from your mouth, you are glad that you are anointed. So you will have God and the infantry to come and condemn one person in Africa and say they are doing human sacrifice. What about your God? Maybe they learned it from him. Maybe they learned it from him. Let's not forget Job and his children. And suddenly this God just turned their life to a game of chess. A game of chess. Would they waste our money that? Just because you want to prove your point to say a human being you say you love. A human being you say you created and you love. Just to prove a point to something, you kill those children at their prime. Does that make sense? The more I'm going, the more sad I'm getting. And that's why I'm going to be stopping at this one. Man whose life you have not recovered from, this particular fiction character. Yes, Jesus is not even more than a Superman or those superhero that Marvel created. So you said Jesus is your son, and then you killed him for does it make sense to you? How does it make sense to you? You want to save the world, save the world. You want to have mercy on the world, have mercy on the world. You want to atone for the world, atone for the world. Is it necessary for someone to die? Is it like when you have not seen blood, you don't calm down? Even if mankind assumed the position of God for one day, it will do better than that. do better than that, I believe. But that's the God you serve. So in Islam, they say you are a slave of God. You are a servant of God. See, ẹrú Ọlọ́run ni ọ́, that you are a slave of God. Ẹrú sí Ọlọ́run. In Christianity, they say you are God's sheep. You are the same faith that before a slave is what before a sheep now. Have you not seen the code there? They are trying to tell you that you have a choice, either as a slave or as a sheep. You can be killed at will. You are not human. Oh God, that you are foolish, that you have no choice, that you can be murdered, slaughtered, sent into the battlefield, milked and leached on at any point in time. So every single one that comes to tell you about Jesus is Lord, God is this and that, watch them very well. They are in Ukraine, they are in Nigeria, they are everywhere. They are in the form of pastors, bishop, GO, evangelists, apostles. They are in form of reformers. They are in form of free disciple. They are in form of reformation. As long as they cling on to this God, their target is your money. Their target is your women. Their target is your daughters. Their target is your life. Foundation that is faulty and expect your finishing to be perfect. Africans, I call you today. Can you wake up? Now it is now your job. Everybody listening to me now, it is now your own obligation. It is not something like, okay, I'm going to close my eyes. Whoever wants to die should die. You need to take up this active role of crusade. This is the real crusade. The crusade the Christians were doing to propagate the gospel of their Christ before was a crusade that is being engaged, that is being done by the Templars. The Templars preached Christ with sword. It's either you receive Christ or you both die. It was through war. They shed the blood of your ancestors to make them receive Christ. And they say they were the one, their forefathers killed Jesus. This is the true crusade. We are having conversation, a conversational crusade. I can't do it alone. I'm asking you to help me help your people. I have got to get more people in your circle of influence. I have spoken this truth to you. You said to me, you are listening to me right now because you crave for a change. I'm saying don't let it die with you. Teach your children the same thing. Talk to them. Let them know that their life is worth more than $1 million with the instrument of religion. Tell your spouse to wake up. Tell your neighbors to wake up. Tell them to keep their money. Tell them that God, if he needs money, should go and borrow. Tell them that love, if it is not coming from them, he cannot enjoy it from heaven. Train up your child in the way that he should go, not in the way of the Lord, please. Stop training your children in the way of the Lord. Stop training them in the way of any Lord. Train them in the way that they should go. Train them in the way that they should go. Take up the active role of also joining this crusade. Join the crusade actively. I'm inviting you to be one of us. Just go to your Google, your Facebook, or your Instagram, or your Telegram and type 1 million seekers. Type them separately, 1 million seekers, and join us. As long as you are the God, take responsibility. The God you are looking for is you. All you need to do is just to take responsibility. Because the more you shift responsibility to any God in the sky, the more you become powerless. The more you continue to say, okay, God, come and help me, the more powerless you become. Take responsibility. You are what you are looking for. You are the God you are looking for. Take responsibility. These are the conversations we have on 1 Million Seekers platform. Because if you are not seeking for the truth or something, you will not be here. So either you are a Christian, a Muslim, whatever you are seeking for something. I'm saying Being a seeker is not a religion. We don't have doctrine. Our women speak to us. The younger one teach us as well as the elderly one teach us. Everyone has something that is called opinion. It is valid, and we cross-examine it. What we do here today, what we just did here today, is examination. We did what we call investigation into what this God is. We were not killing people. We were not telling people that if they don't go our way, they will die. We request money from no people except we need to help others, and we don't have enough. Your Google, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Telegram, 1 million seekers join us. What you understand? This is a place where you are safe. You are safe with us. And nobody needs to know who you are. And you will not be condemned. Let nobody deceive you no more. Enough is enough. Let nobody deceive you anymore. What we ensure we do is to serve humanity. We don't serve God. His mouth is too much. He said he owns the cattle upon the thousand. Silver is his, gold is his. Why does he need our money? He should settle himself. If he's broke, let him take loan. Dangote can do better. Apply for loan, take it. But our money belongs to ourselves. We will help those who are helpless. We will reach out to those who are needy. We don't do these things for sure. And we don't threaten anybody to leave what they are, to become one of us before we help them. You are the God. Just take responsibility. And don't forget to share this. It is in sharing this that you are doing the true evangelism and the true gospel. It is in sharing this that you are truly evangelizing and you are doing the true gospel. Unfortunately, I'm not your Lord. I'm not your Savior. I'm your friend and I'm your brother. And for this, I want to invite you to join me also on my social media platform right here. You can go to the Greatman Ayilara on Facebook, Greatman Ayilara on Instagram, Greatman Ayilara on YouTube. And if you have things you want to say, you don't want to be known, you are anonymous, you have things you want to share with us, you have questions you want to push out, you don't want to be seen on social media, you can just take down that number 08078384845, 08078384845, and please do send your message across. You want to talk about something? Let's talk about it together. You're my brother, you're my sister, you are the God I want to serve, you are the one I want to spend my money on, you are the one I want to use my money for. The God in heaven should fix himself up. The God in heaven should fix himself up. Especially that one that loves to share the blood of everybody. Blood, 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 blood everywhere. Go ahead and share this with your friends, family, and your acquaintances. Put it on their WhatsApp and all that. And let them know that this is the God they have been serving. This is the God they have been serving. And do you know that a leopard cannot change its skin? A leopard cannot change its skin. If his joy is in blood, in the days of old, he's still looking for blood till now. That's why this God will require you to bring out your sweat. That's why this God will require you to come to church all the time. That's why this God will require you to keep worshiping the men that administer him to you. That's why this God will require you to lose your common sense and your soul just to serve him. Bloodthirsty God and religion. If you join us towards the tail end, you need to start from the beginning and learn. You have to go and know and discover that whatever it is you call your conviction today, it's not your conviction. It's someone else's conviction. It's something that was either you were lured into, you were lured over, or you were forced into. It is when you got here that you learned all these things. Your knowledge of God, your knowledge of Jesus, your knowledge of hell, your knowledge of heaven, your knowledge of judgment day, your knowledge of everything is a learned behavior. It's a learned pattern. So they intentionally create a vacuum in you such that if you do not have something to fix it up, you don't feel like you are human being enough. My name is Greatman Ayilara. I'm so excited that you could join me. I'm happy to serve you. For the rest of my life, this is what I want to dedicate my life doing, to liberate our folks, African folks, black men, white folks, who are in the bondage of this God. When you die, the only thing that will happen is that we will miss you. That's all. When you die, we will miss you. We will just miss you. The afterlife, forget about it. It is nonsense. Maybe for by chance when you get there, go there and learn whatever they do there. But while you are still on earth, behave like a human being. Learn everything that it takes to be human. At least be human first before you become spiritual. And half of us do not even know what it takes to be human. We are inhuman to a fellow human, and yet we claim to be spiritual. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. on my Facebook page there, we hold a program called The Upsurge, where we discuss matters that affect our nation largely. I'm having some guest coming with me live this Tuesday. Every Thursday also, we're holding a program called The Foolishness of Religion. Zubi and I, it will be on YouTube, 8 p.m. And on Sundays, it's going to be Seeker's Moment, just like we are today. We will cross-examine things. You have questions and query, you can send it across. We'll surely treat it over anything at all. Over anything at all. We'll surely be here to seek with you, to sit with you, and to investigate with you and come to a sensible conclusion. Something practical. We won't tell you to just have faith and believe. Foolish people believe by having faith. Wise people seek for truth and hold on to it. Thank you very much for joining me today. And to take care of yourself. Namaste now. Bye for now.